Holy cow. Right off the bat. There we go. There we go. There we go, guys. Number 3. Holy cow. Look at that. Right there. Check out that fatty. Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. Well, guys, I'm here at the worldwide headquarters at Casual Observations and home of the Pinhook Fishing Club. And today I'm going to be showing you a product to clean up some of these spinner baits. Inline spinners, I mean. Or it could be a spinner bait. Anything with the blades. So, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan. I do quite a bit of fishing, and I make some other types of videos too. And I just posted one where I was catching some crappie and some bass, testing some different lures. So what I'm going to do today is I got to clean up and polish up some of these spinner baits that are kind of tarnished and get them ready for the springtime. Now the product I use is this stuff called Mothers. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but this is just something I use. I was watching a YouTube channel one day, Wheels and Things, I think is what it's called. And they're the guy, he rebuilds and restores Hot Wheels. And he was using this, if I can get this lid open, there we go. He was using this stuff to polish up some of the cars and different things as he was working on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I took that idea and applied it to the fishing lures. Now, I've already polished up some of these, and you know, it's going pretty good. Let me get a little dab going here and I'll show you how I do this. So I don't get very much. Oops, that may be too much. Just a little bit. And we'll take a look at this number 5 here. And so I just put it on both sides and then I rub it in there. And I keep rubbing and rubbing it in there, cleaning it up, polishing it. And then when you start seeing this dark stuff show up, you know it's working. You know it's really cleaning. And sometimes I'll do the little shaft there and the beads, but you can already see the shine starting to come through. And so then what I'll do is I'll let it sit for a little bit, and then I kind of take a look at it again and see if I need to make any more cleaning sessions on there. But for the most part, the first time through gets it. Oh yeah, there's a nice little shine on there now. Alright, so this number 5 is all set. And you can see there where it cleaned it up pretty good. So then I just find a new clean spot on here. Get a little more. And this tackle tray right here is all my Mepps stuff. Although there are a couple in here that aren't Mepps. Some of the spoons, and like this spoon came from the Trout Whisperer, Everett Lures. He's up, does a lot of trout fishing. He's up in Maine, I think. So this one was really tarnished. I've caught quite a bit of trout on this right here, this little color combo. And his stuff comes with the hook. Ooh, I got some on my thumb there. Oops. Splash down. His will come with the hook on him. And he'll always have like a swivel on the other end. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, you do kind of have to watch out for the hooks here. You don't want to get one of them caught up in anything. Will this take off surface rust? Not really. You could use a wire wheel for that and then go over it. I mean, I guess it could if it's not caked on there real bad. You could get some rust off, but the thing with this is I'm not trying to get these back to perfect. I'm just getting them to where they can get their shine back. Oh yeah, check that out. And see, this guy has done pretty well for me with trout up in the driftless area in Iowa. In case you're new to the channel, I spend my summers in Iowa, and that's where I do most of my fishing. I do quite a bit of fishing down here in the Dallas area where I live, but always in the summer, I'm up in Iowa, up north there. It's where my grandparents had their farm. A bunch of relatives live up there, and we have like a little cabin up there on a lake. And so we're up there pretty much every summer. Alright, this one's looking pretty good. There we go. Yeah, you can see that, how much I got off of there. Alright. Let's move over to... uh-oh. What do I got? Let's move over to the next one. Alright. This is a little wolf. Man, and I've caught quite a bit of fish on the little wolf. It's Mepps' version of a spoon. The thing is, there's paint and decals on some of these Mepps, and it can come off. You got to be real careful with it. The first time I used this little wolf, I was at my favorite fishing hole near the farm, and I was running this through. Had to be careful of the snags and things like that. Would I lose my place here? But I was running it through, and it was kind of like a family day. My parents were out there. Gosh, I can't even remember when this was. 2018 maybe? There we go. In 2018, and so I was like, well, I'm going to give this a shot. Started throwing it. Second cast, bang, in the rough water under the spillway. Got a decent sized pike. I mean, he wasn't anything to brag about. It was like mid-20s, but man, this thing worked. And I was thinking, oh, this is the best lure ever. So then I used it a couple more times, no bites. Different fishing trips, no bites. And then just like that, at different locations, started to pick back up again. Oh yeah, you can see where we're starting to get that tarnish, get all that junk off. You can see where the paint's starting to chip on there. But this thing under the spillways hit some rocks and stuff. Alright, we're getting our shine back. And we're not trying to make these perfect, we're just trying to bring the shine back. Alright, so that one's in good shape. This rag is... I gotta get to a different set of spots here. Alright. We've got a couple more, then I got a couple stories about some lures I'll tell you about. Alright, let's get this. What is this one? This is one of these trophy something or other Mepps puts out. And I had a lot of luck with this guy right here, this number 4. Some smallmouth and a northern this past summer. May or may not be in a video when I use it. There's a lot of times where I'm out there fishing where I'm not making any videos. And I probably should be if I'm out with friends or something, or I just get out there, I'm like, I'm going. Throw everything in the truck and just hit the road. Sometimes I'll hit the beads, guys. I'll show you one where I really had to get in there and clean it up. And even then I could still do a little bit more. Alright, see, that's looking good there. Let's see, we get the shine. Yep. Your angle may be different than mine for the shine. Like right there, I got a nice shine reflection. Okay, we got one more. Let me get a clean spot here. Also have a bunch of tackle I'm gonna share with you guys. We're all stuck inside because this crazy winter storm has hit. Here in Dallas, we got down to 10 degrees, which is unheard of, except when we had that snowmageddon. Now, when I was teaching over in Amarillo teaching school, man, we'd always have snowstorms. We'd always get down around 0 in the teens. People don't realize that Amarillo is actually pretty high elevations. It's about 1,400 feet higher than it is here in the Dallas area. Oh yeah, look at that that tarnish. I don't know what you call that, tarnish. That junk coming off. And so we'd always have snow days, and I'll get the shaft a little bit on this one. All the bits and bobs. So we'd miss some days there, but you know, we were used to cold weather. Especially the blizzard of 2013, where at my house, my little outdoor thermometer read -9, -11, and then -10 degrees over a couple day stretch. But here, you know, it snowed a little bit here yesterday, so everyone was all freaking out and nobody can drive right. So, all right, this one's looking good. Hey, if you never use any of these longs, Anglia longs, give them a try, test them out. Same thing with the Anglia long cast. Big and heavy, it's good for trolling. All right. Anyway, so today I'll be able to go over this mother's polish and some of the stuff, more orders that I got that came in. All right, this is my oldest Mepps. And I got this up in Iowa at a 4th of July yard sale. Garage sale kind of thing. They're big right around the 4th up there. They try to sell them. I mean, look at the weight style right here. Much different than what they use now. The more balanced out. I don't want to say aerodynamic, but except for the water a little bit better. See, like this one's got that tube style. And then this old school one, I can't even count how many sides are on there. 6 sides or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. I don't know. I'll let you guys do the math. Alright, so this number 2, and I'm pretty sure they still make these little black and white patterns, but for me I thought it was cool, and so it was, there you can see, clean that up pretty good. So for me, this is the oldest Mepps. It's one of these comic combos, and it works pretty well. The hook is buried down in there. I've caught some fish on it. Actually, I caught a big bluegill on this one time. Alright, we got one more. We got another comic combo. This one's a size 4. See how the color will come off of there? So I don't want to hit that too much. But man, it sure did shine it up. If you get really picky, you want to get the rest of the bits in there. I don't, because I'm mainly focused on the flash. But I guess, I don't know, maybe once in a while I'll go clean up the beads and everything else. Oh, we gotta get this spot right here. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep this in front of the camera, but you know when you're staring at it trying to clean it, sometimes you drift out of view. Okay. Alright. Check out this guy. It's a Cyclops, big one. It's all banged up in there. I've already tried to, or I already have cleaned it once. I'm going to try again. I can't get those abrasions off of there. There's just no way. I didn't try with a steel wheel, or one of those wire wheels, or anything like that, but it's been banged up. This one, it's got a cool story behind it. Oh, there we go. We're getting some tarnish there. So what happened with this guy was, a couple of summers ago, I went up to Ely, Minnesota on the Boundary Waters, and I stayed at this really cool lodge. No, I didn't canoe back into the Boundary Waters or anything. I just fished right at a lodge. It was my first time there, and I was going to focus on pike and walleye. And the walleye bite was really slow. I missed it by a week, but I did get one. So I had this Cyclops up, and I was throwing this, cast at a country mile. I want to say easily 50 yards maybe. And across from me was there was a channel running in front of me, and then on the other side of the bank, it was straight up vertical rocks and trees, pine trees like white pine and a bunch of other stuff. And it was a big kind of cliff face. And up on top of that, there was like some people, they had a house up there. And the bluff was, I'd say, maybe a couple 100 feet. So it was kind of a cool backdrop to fish in. Well, I was throwing this, running it through there, pulling it through, and nothing. To my left on this little dock was 3 gals that were going through a midlife crisis. They were from Chicago, and they were a little bit younger than I was, and they were laying out in the towels on this dock, reading their iPads. One was reading a book, and they were really nice. They're kind of, a little bit flirty, and talked to them for a little while. I had to ask them if it was okay if I could fish. I was about 10, maybe about 20 feet away from them on this dock, so I could fire out to that spot. And they said, yeah, go ahead. And they were pretty far. It wasn't like I was going to be on top of them, bugging them. Oh yeah, check that out. We're getting that cleaned up. So I start casting away, and I get this big strike, and these guys came in a motorboat and dropped anchor not far off from that bluff and from where I was casting, and they were using live bait. They were using minnows, or like chubs. And I was kind of peeved that they dropped anchor right where I was fishing, but I could tell that they were locals. And so, I didn't want to bug them too much about it. I mean, they've probably fished that tons of times, and if anything, I was kind of a new person on their turf. So, I mean, it was okay. It worked out okay. We were fishing. They were fishing. I was fishing. Well, I hook into this. I get a nice bite firing this. I didn't let it sink to the bottom because, it could get stuck down there. There was decent current. But I did let it sink. I think I counted to 4, started reeling it in, and pow! I hooked into a nice fish. It was a northern pike. And I start battling that fish, and I'm getting him in there. Well, at the same time, behind me, there was a whole string of little docks where at the lodge people could, dock their boats, plug them in, do whatever. And these 2 old geezers were coming back from walleye fishing, and they were getting their boat all tied off and situated. And one of them yells over, "Hey, what do you got there?" And I didn't really say anything. I just kept fishing. Well, then they both got off of the boat and started walking up my way. Check that out. It's getting cleaned up nice. So the one of them says, "Oh, it looks like you got a northern there." And I was like, "Yeah, I just hooked him." And so I was fighting him, letting it play, back and forth, letting him have some line and all that good stuff. And he says, "How are you going to get that thing in? You don't have a net." I said, "Oh, I'm going to bank flip him." And the guy's like, "You're not going to bank flip that thing. That thing's almost 40 inches, maybe even 40 inches. And I was thinking, you know what? Forget it. I'm not listening to anything he's saying. If I got to bank flip it, I'm going to bank flip it. And right off the dock, I could have hopped down in there. The water was like maybe a foot, 2 feet deep. So if I got him in close enough, I could have jumped in there and wrangled him and done whatever. But the guy was right. There was no way if it was that big of a fish, I was going to bank flip him. But I didn't care. I was hooked into my northern. And man, it was just going in the fight. And so the guy went back and got his net out of the boat. And he said, all right, man, yeah, I'll let you use my net. I'll net him for you. And you know how it is with the northern. If you're a northern fish, they get in too shallow, they just start going bananas. So I got him into about 2 feet of water, and he freaked out. And I thought he was done and tired. Well, he threw the hook, and he got away. But I'm telling you, I was nervous. There was a lot of pressure. The midlife crisis girls sat up and they were watching. The geezers were breathing down my neck about the net. Then the guys out in the boat that were fishing with live bait were watching. And so there was a lot of pressure on me to try to get this dang northern. And it would have been a PB northern. My biggest is a 36.5 inch. And this thing was right at 40, like the guy said, or closing in. Of course, we're estimating, but it was a big fish, big lake. I think I called it a river. What it is, you have two lakes up there, one here, one there, and there's like a channel between them, and so the water flows, and so it makes for some pretty good current. Anyway, so I lost the fish, and the old geezer said, hey, well, here's my boat over here if you need the net. Just borrow it any time. And I said, well, I had a plan. I was going to get him into the shallow water, and I could just get in there with him and hold him and, take care of him that way. And he's like, oh, yeah, that would have worked. Anyway, and they were all curious about how I had the hat cam. I should have saved that footage. I was so dumb, because when I keep footage, it's just of the catches. Sad stuff. But anyway, so these cyclopses, and I shouldn't have just dropped that down like that. These are great. If you never got them before, get them. I've got some smaller sized ones, but this one's good enough for me, polished up. I'm happy with it. It's got a nice shine. Yeah, it's got a little damage in there, but man, that pike his teeth were just all over this thing. Okay, the other one is this. This one, I tried to clean up. This was all brown and brown. I'm going to put just a little more on here. This lure was one I lost in like 2017, fishing below my favorite marsh, and it was long gone. Well, this past summer, when I was fishing there, I was working really hard. The water was, I don't want to say, well, it was sort of low. And I was throwing another spinner. And I got a snag, and I got the snag free. Well, what happened was I got it hooked inside here. 1 in a million chance to do that. So this was snagged on the bottom of it like a piece of wood. And so I was working the lure, and that's one good thing about 20-pound braid is that you can really work to try to get a snag out. Well, pow, and I tried to straighten these out. This one was kind of bent out of whack. This had all rotten off. The dressing on there was red. And it was just in bad shape. It's got the red tie, but that kind of brownish squirrel dressing. Anyway, so I got this back. Actually, this was yellow because it's that fire tiger kind of color. So I pulled it up, and I was like, what the heck? What did I catch? And sure enough, I pulled this Mepps out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of mine that I lost. It's number 5. And so I've been trying to work on it to get it cleaned up. Guys, anything with this fire tiger green, the pike just love them. So I don't know if they think it's like a bluegill or one of those. A yellow perch. How did I lose my mind on that? Like a yellow perch. And so I pulled this up, and I was happy to get it. It's good to see this whole thing again. Didn't I just clean this guy? This guy's got some weird stuff on the back of them. Is this one? No, it's not one of the new ones. Anyway, so I was happy to get my lure back, so it can happen. Now there is one spot up on the upper Iowa River where I've got like 4 lures stuck, where I was trying to get smallmouth and trout, one of the rare places where you'll have both. And I need the water to get low enough because I'll wade out there at about ankle deep of water to where these rocks are. I know exactly where I got hung up, but it was high water when I was fishing it, and I got them snagged on a stupid rock. Alright guys, so there we go. I'm going to let these sit. So that's using Mother's polish. Technically it's called what? Mag and aluminum polish. But this will work. What does it say? Perfect for all metals, shines and protects. Now they don't sponsor me, nobody does. I just, it's a product I really like. So we got those cleaned up. Let me get this out of the way for you. Then I'm going to show you some of the stuff I picked up lure-wise. Alright. Let me close this. Alright. Let me take a look over here. Okay. So I was fortunate to get a bunch of gift cards for when into Christmas break. I mean, a ton of them. To Cabela's, Field and Stream, Bass Pro Shops, all that good stuff. So what I did was I picked up some more of these Moon Eye jigs, these VMCs. I love these things. And so you've seen me, if you follow the channel, I use them quite a bit on my jigs, like those Kalen's Lunker Grubs. These are 3/8 black. Black comes in handy for some of the stuff. Then I got some of these, and these are what they call their shad 1/4 ounce. And I love this color too. It's versatile. You can use it for different stuff. I can plug those in on my Reaction Innovations. Let me see. I picked up some Trilene Smooth Casting 4-pound line. They have that invisible line that somebody puts out. I've been using that also, but this is from one of my ultralights. And then a couple of packs of 6-pound line. So it's just restocking all some stuff I needed to get restocked. Here's my Power Pro 20-pound. Never had any issues with this line. It is just fantastic. The only time I really have issues with it is if I've got some sinkers, a leader, and I'm live bait fishing. Sometimes I can get caught up in there. And so I have a dedicated northern pike pole for live bait now. And I use a mono for that. The pike, they don't care what's down in there. If they see line, they see what they're going to hit, they're going to hit. Alright, so also got another little jigging wrap. These are great, guys. I've done lots of testing with it, and I'm sold on it. It's not just a nice fishing lure. If you're in a spot where you got some decent water where you can throw it down there and just pop it over and over and let it do its thing, it's good stuff. Alright, now here is a Rapala. This is like the CD3 I was using the other day in the video. This is a CD5. And I think a crappie, those big crappie, could still maybe go after this. They probably would. Anything in the 3, 4, 5 range, well, I guess technically a 2. And I've seen a 1. The 1s are really small, but more for like bluegill. I guess a crappie could hit all that little stuff. But this right here is also good for trout and for smallmouth. So you start getting them up there, and this it sinks about a foot per second. And if I use one of my little clips on the tip of it to hook in there, it'll dive a little bit quicker, and it's got a great wobble to it. I mean, Rapala, they always do phenomenal with their stuff. And if you ever need to check and see what the depth is, I'll always have what it's marked. This one says countdown, or it may say sinking, but then it gives you your range, 3 to 6 feet, and it gives you some more information in there. Sorry about that. I don't know if that was in front of the camera or not. So here is a 3. It's a good comparison. The 5 and the 3. The 3 is what I was catching the bass and all those crappie in the other video. I wanted to get out there today, guys, but this crazy cold front that blew through, so it kind of messed things up. I got a couple more fishing locations I want to get to. One, I'll talk about that one in just a minute, but so here's the 5 and the 3. I want to get a 4 in a color like that perch color that I was using. Alright, so these, I mean, I've used crankbaits before while trout fishing, and I've had luck on them. But overall, crankbaits, I mean, like I've used a flicker shad, and I've had some good luck with pike and things. But for me, jerkbaits, crankbaits, this type of stuff, I mean, I've used it, but I'm just, I'm not a pro at it, and I prefer using the Mepps for different things like that, because you get all the different sizes. Okay, this is also new to me, this power bait, catfish bait. This is blood and liver, chicken blood. Yeah, so I imagine it's going to stink like hell. But there's a lake here where I have made some videos before where I've caught quite a bit of drum, but in these area of these flats, these catfish patrol in there, and I was catching them on crawlers. But I'm going to try to catch a bigger one using this power bait. So we're going to see how this goes. Hook to use, I prefer a treble hook. Well, that's not, well, I guess I could re-rig my deal for a treble. I don't know. I'm going to try to do one of my little catfish hooks, and we'll see how that goes. Let me see in here. Ooh, who's that? French? Le Power Bait de Berkeley. Alright, why Berkeley? Let's see. 100% fortified with the most advanced scent, flavor, ingredients, and developed to catch fish. Catfish locate power rate faster than the conventional dough baits because it disperses a foul or a powerful scent. Flavor catfish crave. Well, how do they know? The catfish tell them? How to fish it. Mold the catfish bait nugget firmly onto the hook with the sinker heavy enough to keep the bait on the bottom where the catfish generally feed. Okay. The other thing, made in the USA. Good stuff. Alright, guys. I think that's pretty much it. These are ready to go back in the box. Once again, I just want to show you how I use this mother's polish. These all shined up nice. I know it doesn't help that I've got them banging around in here, but so generally I got my spoons here. I've got my size 4s and 5s, 3s and 2s here, my little Comet minnows and Comet combos in here, XDs, Aglia Brights, and here I got just some small spoons. And these small spoons aren't Mepps, they're just kind of generic. Ozark Trail, the one from the Trout Whisperer, Everett Lures. So, what is that, a Castmaster? Yeah, I hadn't used this in a couple years. So anyway, so this is my kind of spinner and inline spinner and spoon box. Do I ever use spinner baits, you know, with the skirt on it and the multi-blades? Sometimes I do. There was a couple years there, that's all I use exclusively, but not anymore. This one's at 3. He's big enough to fit in there. He's going to go over here. Anyway, I've been fishing a long time, guys, and these Mepps, I'm telling you, they catch fish. The cool thing, if you want to go check out their stuff, go to the Mepps, even Mr. Twister, and they have a page there where people put their testimonials and upload the pictures of their fish. I think I showed you guys how to do that in a video. And they're great. They, you can, the guys will tell you how they catch their stuff, what they used it on, and a lot of it's good stuff is Mepps. The other thing is, you can go to the Mepps Facebook page, and they got quite a bit of stuff in there about what they used to catch fish, what types of Mepps. That's how I got some of the ideas for some of mine, was reading the information on that page. So there's a new one I'm going to test out for a Mepps. Let me see if it's in here. Where is that? I don't know if I picked one up or not. We're going to find out, though. No. I don't think I ordered. I don't think I pulled the trigger on that. Oh wait, I did. Now why are you down at the bottom? These. This guy had posted some information that on a 3, 4, and even 5s, that he would just crushed pike with these. So I picked up a couple of those. What, I got a 4 in there. Hey, these True V's got a massive 16-inch brown this summer. I caught in on a 3 though, but I went ahead and picked up a 4 because I'm going to use that sucker for pike. Come on, let's get untangled here. But there's a guy on there who posted that all he exclusively uses are these Black Furies, and smallmouth just crush them. So I got to test. I mean, I've had some luck on the Black Furies, but I'm going to test them out a little more. We're going to see what's going on. And then, that's the only thing, guys, is that these get tangled up. And I've got a buddy of mine that uses foam inserts where he puts these in and they don't slide around and they don't cause problems. But what happens is he can't get them all into one tackle box. So he's got like, to get the foam in there to hold everything, he's got like 4 tackle boxes. And so I've got all of mine in one. And it's just more convenient that way. Alright. Enough with the tackle talk. So, well, one last look. So this is where I picked up some info off that Mepps Facebook page to test out one of these solid green Mepps for pike. Alright. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for being patient and hanging around. But honestly, when the weather's crummy like this, it's good just to kind of hang out and watch some videos, see what's going on, catch up on all the fishing stuff. And that's what I'm doing. I mean, I've got some traps I got to reset. Oh, I did catch a nasty looking gray rat. I didn't even think to bring the camera out. So out in the alley where we keep our trash bins, I had seen one zip across the alley and run under my neighbor's trash bin. And then up this little, I don't want to call it a French drain, but just like a drain, well, it's almost like a tile, but like a farming tile, but it runs up, comes out in the alley, goes up under her grass. Anyway, just a drain pipe. So it ran into there. Well, under my trash bin, I set the trap with a piece of turkey jerky, and I put a couple peanuts in there, and I tucked it under there where like a cat couldn't get it. And sure enough, yesterday, kapow, he was all crunched in there. And so I'm going to set a couple more traps, see if I can get him. Squirrels hadn't been a problem. And then, that's it with this cold weather. Watching movies, but mainly I've been watching fishing videos. I've been doing research on these, and I'm curious to see if there's a floating one that'll hover about a foot below the water. And I know depending on how fast you reel or whatever, you can dictate that, but I'm kind of looking for something because there are some spots where the trout will hit and they're in water that's only maybe 6 to 8 inches. And so I'm looking for something that can kind of glide a little bit on the surface and sink a little bit and kind of tease them. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, I'll see you then. Hey, I hope all your fishing adventures are going well. Let me know how things are going for the winter, what you're catching. It's spring's coming up. I know everyone says, oh, it's right around the corner. Well, it's getting here. That'll be my next thing to plan for, and it's going to be these because I know exactly. I'm going up to my little honey hole up in Oklahoma, catch some nice crappie at a big creek that runs through there. So this year, I'm just going to stay in a hotel. I'm going to get there Friday. Once I get out of school, spend the night in the hotel, spend the night Saturday night, come back Sunday after a full day of fishing. So a couple days of fishing. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.